recently asked to give a presentation about what makes a professional photographer a professional photographer. What differentiates me from someone who just bought a camera over the weekend. So I put together quite a few things that I do as a professional photographer that really sets me apart from someone who maybe just takes some pictures on the weekend. I find it really interesting, the amount of people calling themselves photographers, and I just think it's amazing because I would never call myself something unless I truly was invested in that and really educating myself. I'm sure a lot of us cook dinner on a regular basis, but there's not very many of us that would call ourselves chefs. But there are a lot of people out there calling themselves photographers, so I just want to kind of show you today what I do as a professional photographer. I belong to an organization called PPA. It is called the Professional Photographers of America, and it is a really great organization specifically for photographers. With PPA, insurance has been offered, so I am an insured photographer. And something a little different that comes along are permits. A lot of times different areas require different permits to shoot. And I know that as a professional photographer, I know whether or not you need a permit, I know where you need to get those and how much they cost. So that is something else that sets me apart. I don't just kind of go out on a whim and hope with the different locations that I shoot at. I research those things beforehand. There is a lot of continuing education that I go to. Luckily, we live here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and there are quite a few seminars that come around on a regular basis. I would say I probably go to some sort of a seminar every couple months. It might be about wedding photography, it might be about children's photography, it could be about newborns or boudoir, but there are lots of different things that come to the area. Normally these seminars are between 4 and 6 to 8 hours, and it's just a wealth of information. I also subscribe to quite a few magazines, professional photography magazines, that I definitely research. I see the different marketing trends, the different photography trends, and I get some inspiration from these magazines. There is also a quarterly DVD that I get. It ranges anywhere between 8 and 12 hours of footage. And it's really interesting because an actual camera crew is following around professional photographers, so we can see how the best of the best are working with their clients, how they prep for a session, even how they interact at a wedding. So these quarterly DVDs that I receive are very informational, and quite a few people don't have access to this. So that's another thing that sets me apart as a professional photographer. There are also quite a few blogs that I look at. Blogging is very big in the photography world, and I would say I probably look at around 75 different photographers' blogs. It can be local photographers, it can be nationwide, there's even international photographers that I look at. So I can see what they're doing, different trends that are taking place in different parts of the nation, and it just gives you some ideas and inspirations and new things that you want to try. And then the final thing is practice. There is a lot of practice that takes place with photography. You can't just simply pick up your camera once every few weeks, charge a couple dollars to do pictures and call yourself a photographer. You really have to know all of the ins and outs of your camera and be confident in that. Another thing that sets me apart as a professional photographer is that about once a month, if not more, I go out and scout new locations. There isn't a handbook that says, go to this location, walk up 2 roads, hang a left down this alleyway, and there's a perfect wall to take pictures in front of. That's something that I have to do on my own. So I go out and I pick a location and I walk up and down every single street, every single alley to see if there's a good spot to shoot at. And that sets me apart as a professional photographer. I'm always coming up with new places to shoot at to offer to my clients. I also go out with some of my lady photography friends, and we'll get together and maybe scout locations together. But what's really fun is we get to practice in front of the camera. And as strange as that sounds from a photographer, because we're behind the camera, I learn just as much in front of the camera. I see how I should interact with my clients. I see how I freeze up in front of the big black scary camera with the big flash on it. So I know how I need to hear someone direct me in posing and in relaxing and smile here, look there. I see that when I'm practicing in front of the camera as well as behind the camera. And one of the biggest things that sets professional photographers apart is that we are not what's called a shoot and burn photographer. We guarantee quality. We do not guarantee quantity. There are quite a few people out there selling themselves saying, you'll get all 350 images I take. I'm going to burn it on a CD and give it to you 5 minutes after the session is done. That is not a professional photographer. As a professional photographer, it is our job to narrow that down to the best of the best images. You only want to see maybe around 35 to 45 images, and that might even be overwhelming for you. But as a professional photographer, it's my job to narrow that down, to get rid of the blinking eyes, the poses that were kind of caught strangely with the camera. It's my job as a professional photographer to narrow that down, to show you the best of the best, and to edit those. And I also give quite a few decorating suggestions. I just recently purchased some amazing software so I can show you the difference of sizes. Maybe if you're looking for that perfect family picture to hang over your fireplace, it can show you the difference of how small an 11 by 14 is compared to a 30 by 40. So that's something that I also do with my clients. And I've also been putting together some videos of me working with my clients. That's kind of the new trendy thing. Parents, brides, moms want to see how I actually work during a photo shoot. So I have a couple of those up on YouTube as well. So I hope that showed you all the different things I do as a professional photographer, all the continuing education, all the time that I spend with my clients, the narrowing down, the showing you only the perfect images. So I hope that helped a little bit and showed you why you should hire a professional photographer. Thank you, Andrea Pender Photography.